progression of the story. What is up, YouTube? I'm your friendly neighborhood, Endman64, bringing you the next episode of Pokémon Colosseum. In the last episode, we snagged 2 additional Shadow Pokémon that were on our list. Them being an Ursaring and a Smeargle. After finishing off our deal with Gonzap, we also acquired another disc to use here in the Under to get to the last major Colosseum in story mode. But while I was coming here, I got an email. Who is this? Hi, it's Bit in the Under. I was taking photos the other day when I saw this guy with this amazing head, so I snapped him. He was singing this weird song, something about the Colosseum being his new place. Up. I'm guessing you guys know we've got another match with a certain disco-loving weirdo. God, I love Mirror B. Alright. Since we got the disc from Gonzap, we are going to use the disc from Gonzap. And we're going to head to the last of the Colosseums. I don't know if we're going to tackle all of them in the next 2 episodes, because, like I said, we've been battling Colosseums for a while now. But first things first, we found steel teeth. I'm guessing that's what the old guy wants, so let's go deliver those. Let's go deliver that stuff. Why not? We'll be nice. Alright, so then we swap discs. We'll go for the forward disc. Rui, please. Not now. We'll give the guy his teeth, and maybe, like the Warden in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, we'll get something useful for it. There we go. I don't know why you need steel teeth, but okay.
Pokemon Pikachu picked a peck of Pokeballs. No more air leakage. I can finally talk normally again. You're a savior. I thank you for your kindness. It's perhaps not much of a thanks, but I'd like you to have this.
Alright, we've obtained the last of the discs. The L disc. That'll allow us to go to the left and get that item that's been taunting us for about 20 episodes so far. Let's go see what it is. I know what it is. It's something that I'm really angry that they didn't put into the game until this point, when we really could have used it, like, so much earlier. I guess the game just doesn't care. The game doesn't want us to be happy. Oh well. All that's here is the amulet coin. Now money is officially no longer a problem. You can grind in any of the Colosseums for an endless supply of cash, if you so desired to. But again, by this point in the franchise, in the game, you really shouldn't need to. But whatever. Alright, I think we will get 2 challenges done here. There are 4 battles, I believe, in this Colosseum. All until we get to fight the king of the Colosseum. And in case you're wondering, as you saw Mirror B heading down there, this is another opportunity for you to rematch the Cypher bosses to get the Pokemon that you've needed. So if you had a hard time catching Entei, Suicune, whomever, you can come down here and you can challenge them freely, as you want. The Minor Colosseum is built on a former quarry. It's underground in every sense of the word. Cypher's admins are filling their fangs for you. Yep, it is going to be a lot harder, but I'm convinced we can win. We have a team of guys in their low 60s. The only person whose power levels I'm a little concerned about is Icarus, because he's the lowest leveled. And the game, fortunately, gave us solutions to those problems. We can beef up Icarus a bit, if he so needs it, which I think he does. We'll get him up to level 63. And the last rare candy, because he's been such a good trooper and he has earned it, we'll go to Static. So now, we have a team of all of our Pokemon in the low 60s. Our lowest leveled is now the entirely based Shield-based and DJ Spins, both of whom I imagine are going to get some experience going forward. I don't think we're fighting the boss first, so we'll tackle this area first. We'll let DJ Spins and Icarus get some experience here. I believe. I don't think it's going to be boss rush here. I could be wrong, though. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this mode. Yeah, I don't remember Dewig being a boss here. A Tropius and a Zangoose, huh? And that's why I don't use Bulbapedia, because they decide, nah, we're not going to load half the page. We're going to take our time loading half a frickin' page. Whatever. Alright, break that Zangoose. Ooh. In hindsight, I really should have considered leaving Static at the front of the party. Oh well. You'll find out why when we get to the end of this challenge. Oh, and yes, there are 5 entries here, so we have to take it on 5 different times in order to get what we want, everything we want here. Again, you hit the wrong Pokemon there, but you do you, fam. You do you. Yes, there are 5 Colosseum rounds we have to take on. We're going to get all of our rematches with all of the Cypher admins, and then we gotta take on the last of the under leaders. Up until previously hidden boss. So I think we're gonna tackle the 2 of them in this one, 2 of them in the next one, and then we'll do the last one, and then hopefully get the last Shadow Pokemon in the next one. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Fortunately, as I've said, time is on my side. Ish. Not completely on my side, but it is reasonably on my side. Also, again, if you start struggling in these Colosseums, don't forget that if you have the link cable, you can transfer Pokemon over from the Game Boy games into this game. And they don't scale levels up, so at least in this area, in the story mode. So if you want a level 100 Rayquaza to absolutely rip through everything, you're more than welcome to. I will technically be doing that, but not in story mode. Or at least not yet. I have my Game Boy charging. My Game Boy Advance SP charging now. With the same copy of Pokemon Emerald I've had for years now, for like a decade now. Alright, so we'll go Psychic to take out that Hariyama. Beautiful. Beautiful. I do have a couple of more questions, but I think I'm going to save that for once we start getting into the meat of this, because as of right now, this is just pretty straightforward. Actually, technically, if I want to be technical, I really should be answering the question now. How many do I have written down here? 3 or 4. Maybe 5. Alright, I may as well answer them. Alright, let's see. Which one do I want to answer first? I want to answer you. Okay. This question is... I feel like I answered this when I did Kingdom Hearts 1. But I know I didn't really do a particularly good job of explaining, so I'll answer it again for this time. The question is, what games would you like on the NSO for the GameCube app to come to the NSO for the Switch 2? They've already announced a bunch of games, and as I've noticed, a bunch of games are on there. Right now, from what I remember looking at, I'd only played Strikers, but I know Luigi's Mansion's there. I know Wind Waker's there. Soul Calibur 2, I want to say, is there. Wario World just got added. Break that giraffe right here. But yeah, Wario World is there, which I've never played before, so I'm curious about that. I'm just curious to see if I could get games that I've never played before. Like, Wario World is one that I've never gotten to play before. But, like, I don't... Like, if it's games that I've owned or I've played before, I'm not too keen on that. The only ones where that's an exception to the rule is if it's multiplayer. So, like, if Mario Sunshine never comes to NSO, I'm fine with that. Hell, even the Colosseum and XD games, if they never came to NSO, even though they've already announced that they are, I think they did with Sunshine too, I'd be fine, because I own the games physically. But, like, I want to see some games where there's multiplayer in there, because not only does that help me and Mark potentially navigate major, you know, parts of future things for us for After Dark, but it's also future content. Mario Parties 4, 5, 6, and 7 would be great to have on there. Mario Superstar Baseball would be great to have on there. Obviously, Melee would be great to have on there. Mario Kart Double Dash is the one I will get on my knees and beg if I have to have Double Dash on there. It would be fantastic to have Double Dash on NSO. Obviously, you get rid of the online LAN stuff, because obviously you don't need that. Or you can and just make larger groups for NSO, but again, I very much doubt that Nintendo's looking deep into that. But to keep the point more or less focused, multiplayer games. As many multiplayer games as possible, and games I've never played before, like Wario World. Like, I don't need Star Fox to appear on there. Star Fox Adventures. So I've never played that game, nor do I played it for like a couple of hours, and I got really bored. Is this music playing? I have to increase the volume here, hold on. Oh my god, it is. I freaking love this game. Alright, Mirror B! Boss battle time. As you would imagine, he's more or less the same as he's always been. A ludicolo lunatic. And since I don't have my boy out for this, I think I'll have to take him out bit by bit. One at a time. I don't have my boy Static out here, so we'll just have to deal with them as the... Oh! Alright, Exploud, you're next. But no, I want to focus on games that I've never played before or are multiplayer. Like, I don't care about Star Fox Adventures, even Star Fox Assault, which is an incredible game. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. Just point blank, I don't need to see that on NSO. I think it's a game that is criminally underrated, Star Fox Assault. Or as I call it, Carfax Asphalt. But I don't need to see it. Like, same with the original Kirby Air Ride. I don't really need to see that there. There was another Kirby game I can't think of on the GameCube. I don't really need to see that there. Keep the focus on multiplayer and unique games. That's just my opinion, though. Alright. Leech Seed. That is problematic. Which one was it? I believe it's, yeah, the female level 65. Alright, so let's get rid of them first. Wrong one to use deep. Oh, there you go. You wasted an entire turn using X items. You're a schmuck. Good. Critical hit punishes you. And Armaldo, who is here in place of Pseudo Wudo. A very valid replacement, if you ask me. Alright. Of course, the Leech Seed still kicks in. Whatever. We'll go double team that Armaldo. Ooh, that was mean. All right, let's keep moving. Let's move to the next question. Ooh, here's an interesting one. I don't think I've answered before. What is your all-time favorite type of candy? That's a tough one because, as many of you may know, if you know me as a person, I am not a big candy guy. Like, I am more of a... When we go out to dinner, I'm more of an appetizer and main course guy over a main course and dessert type person. That doesn't mean I don't eat dessert, it just means that it's not a pretty big priority for me. I don't eat that much candy, but when I do, there's a variety of stuff that I do enjoy. But if I had to say my all-time favorite type of candy, it would have to be dark chocolate. I don't know why, it's just dark chocolate specifically. Like, milk chocolate's great, don't get me wrong, but dark chocolate, there's just something I enjoy about the taste of it. The crispness. So, like, a Hershey special dark chocolate bar, or, like, dark chocolate truffles, or... Like, we have a candy maker about 45 minutes from our house who makes, I would say candy. He does make candy, but that's beside the point. Alright. Ooh, $20,000. And another TM12, which I believe is Taunt. And you want to email me. What could possibly be important? Deep King. I heard you've gone to the Deep Colosseum. I heard a rumor about it. There's supposed to be a seriously tough trainer who goes by the name of Deep King. I wonder what Pokemon he uses. Yeah, thanks, dude. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me in the slightest. Let's see. DJ Spins could use some more levels, but so could... I want Icarus to be, like, the main ace of our team, so... I think I'm going to leave these two in for now. DJ Spins could use some more levels anyway. But no, we have a candy maker who is, You have the black belt, right? Okay, yeah, I don't want to change that. I was going to say I want to get some more money, but if they're giving $20,000 per round here, I'm fine with that. We have a candy maker about 45 minutes from our house who, like, makes his own candy. It's not like he just sells M&Ms and shit like that. But he makes his own gummy bears, gummy worms, chocolate stuff. And my favorite thing to get from him is dark chocolate covered pretzels. That is one of my all-time favorite sweets out there. But if I had to specifically pick a candy type, like, you know, candy you get from a convenience store or something like that, it's tough because one of my all-time favorites is Laffy Taffy from Wonka. But the particular flavor I like best is not around anymore. Or if it is, I haven't seen it. Like, when I go to the candy store for, like, Christmas, I always look to see if they have, like, the variety pack. But, like, every single time I go, they have a different variety. So, like... cool, you attacked the wrong one. Good job. They always have, like, a different one in there. So, like, I remember... when I first used to get Laffy Taffy, the variety pack they had was... grape, green apple, banana, and strawberry. Now, strawberry is my favorite. Then they started making them with replace the strawberry with cherry. And I'm like, okay, so I still want the strawberry one back, but you'd have to buy a bag of specifically just strawberry. And that's not bad, it's just not good either. Synchronize. There you go. No free cheap shots. But like, and then the most recent one, they replaced the green apple, not the green apple, they replaced the grape with blue raspberry. And yeah, I like blue raspberry, but like, that's why I like those places where you, like, pick your own candies and stuff and you can put them in a bag. Those are always my favorite places. But, again, it would have to be Strawberry Laffy Taffy, specifically. Or, if I couldn't have that. I do like Three Musketeers bars, so maybe that would be one of the ones up there. I don't know, but like my main sweet treat is dark chocolate covered pretzels. My favorite type of candy, period, is Strawberry Laffy Taffy. And if it's something that's more mainstream that I had to pick, it would probably be a Three Musketeers bar. Alright, let's see. Next question. Oh, for the new Villains Land that's opening in Magic Kingdom, what do you think are going to be some of the things that are there? Okay, so from what they've announced for the Disney Villain Land, for the Villains Land, is they've announced 2 rides, a couple of shops, and 2 eateries. I think 2 or 3 eateries. So it's not going to be, like, massive. They are doing a lot of construction at Magic Kingdom right now, but in general, there is this... They have 2... They said they're going to do 2 rides, and... the 2 rides, a couple of shops, and... what's it called? Like a couple of eateries. Now, from what Disney would mean by that, can be open to interpretation. I personally think that I think there's gonna be more than they've revealed, but to temper your expectations for what will be there. So, like, I think there's gonna be a few meet and greet areas that'll rotate like they do at the Princess Hall, where that, like, every day there's a different princess there. Other than Cinderella, of course, who's always there. I think there'll be some villains who will alternate in and out. Get rid of you, get rid of you. So, like, I would envision a few meet and greets for villains, so... And I mean the big guns, so, like, the guys that are usually in the parades. So, like, Gaston, the Queen, the stepmother from Cinderella, Jafar, Dr. Facilier. Probably not going to get a bunch of other ones like that. In terms of the eateries, I imagine there's not going to be another... Probably not going to be like another super expensive sit-down restaurant. I think there'll be a regular sit-down restaurant there. It can't be Gaston's Tavern because they have that in Fantasyland. But the question is, would they swap that out for something else? Is the question. Because if Gaston is going to have a prominent role in the new area, having his tavern be in Magic Kingdom seems a little redundant. But again, also, Captain Hook and Ursula and also all of them are going to be in Fantasyland still too with their rides. So I imagine... So then eatery would have to be like something along the lines of... Like, I couldn't really base it on anything because there really aren't that many, like, food-based villains in the Disney worlds, in the Disney movies. Like, nobody owns a restaurant that's evil. I'm guessing it would be like a generic villains club. So, like, villains club, like, I wouldn't say it's villains pub or something like that. Maybe they call it the Poison Apple, rip off Shrek 2, which had the tavern named the Poison Apple. And have like a bunch of villain-based foods on there. So like you have like the poisoned apples. You have like drinks based on like villain things and foods based on villain things. Like you could have like a zebra carcass thing for Scar, but it's just like a steak or something. Or it'd be like fillet of buffalo, but it's just like a steak. I don't know. Just an idea I'm throwing around there. The second one would probably be like specifically desserts and snacks. The shops are what I'm most interested in. Because there's really nothing you have to go off of. So swap DJ spins out for static. There's really nothing you have that they can go off of. Like you can do villain shops, you can do like, what are you gonna do, like the Descendants where you have Jafar's pawn shop being like, maybe you have Medusa's pawn shop from the Rescuers, or you're thinking that you have Jafar's shop where it's a bunch of useless knickknacks. There's a lot of room for stuff to do for like merchandising and shops like that than there is for rides, honestly. The next thing I'm thinking of before I talk about the rides is I think they're gonna do a show. I don't know if it's gonna be the villain show from the Hollywood studios moving over, but I think they would have a show there as well. Maybe like a stage adaptation of a more recent Disney movie based off, but with the villain talking about it. Similarly to the show at Disney Hollywood Studios. I think that one's just there temporarily until they find something else to replace it, but I think that's going to be in the villain's land. Something like that, or just that. And then you're going to have two rides. The rides are always the ones that more fans are interested in, but they're also things where it's like, oh, well, that's going to be difficult to pull off or something like that. Remember, Disney does not make like the thrill rides you'd find at Busch Gardens or Six Flags or Cedar Point. They make like the rides that fit in with the environment. They're entertaining, they're fun. People of all shapes and sizes can get into them. Even someone as massive as Dakeem can get into it. You again? I'll crush you. You're 0 for 2, Dakeem. Do you really think you can do it a third time? I have my doubts. Alright, anyway, moving on. The first ride I thought of, and I think it's probably possible to happen, is there's in Disneyland and in Disney World, not Disneyland, in Disneyland and Disneyland Paris, there is a ride called Storybook Canal Boats. I think we're in trouble. If he's protecting, that means something's going to happen. Oh, it's just the earthquake strategy. Okay. That doesn't really help, especially when it's Claydol doing the earthquaking. Alright, so Psychic and Brick Break. We'll try this again. There's a ride called the Storybook Canal Boats, which takes you through like miniature versions of the Disney story. So it'll take you, you'll see Prince Eric's castle in miniature form, or Belle's village, or the Queen's castle with the dwarf's house from there of Snow White, or Bald Mountain from Fantasia, or Arendelle from Frozen, yada yada yada. You get the idea. And then in Disneyland Paris, they have one that's even better than those ones because it's got a bunch of fun rides. It's got a bunch of fun rides. I mean, it's got like a bunch of more fun elements. Like the exhibits are bigger. They've got wider exhibits. It's not super tiny miniatures. And like instead of going through Monstro the Whale's Mouth like you do at Disneyland, you go through the Cave of Wonders. It's got some interesting tidbits that I think they should do like a warped version of that, but similar like you have, like it's like a ride through the underworld in Hercules, and you see where all the villains are situating themselves nowadays. Two psychic types. We will swap Icarus with Mirage, and we will detect with DJ Spins this turn. I think they should do a warped one with the Disney villains, but you show them what they're doing in the underworld compared to, like, say, what they think is actually going on. Like, for example, you'll start turning the corner and you see it's like Gaston's perfect life, but then you get, and then, like, say the light flashes and it changes the scene of, like, Gaston's miserable life in the underworld or something. Something along those lines. Nothing too, like, drastic or dark or twisted. But I think that'd be something interesting. Like, he goes through Jafar and Ursula and all them, what they're doing in the underworld now that they've lost and they can't possibly recover. The other ride idea I was thinking of is this one would be the big thrill ride of the area. Like, you have, each area has its signature attraction. Like, Adventurelands is the Jungle Cruise. Frontierlands currently would be Thunder Mountain. Well, since that's not open yet, technically it would be, I don't know. Technically it would be, Tiana's ride. Fantasylands would be the Seven Dwarfs. Tomorrowland would obviously be either Tron or Space Mountain. Like, and so, like, the Villains Land would have its signature attraction. And honestly, I'm thinking it either has to be based off of Chernobog, the Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia, or it has to be Maleficent based, because that's the big bad. So, like, you have the Big Mountain Castle. You can either have the Escape from Maleficent's castle, or you can do the Bald Mountain. And let's be real, more than likely it's going to be a roller coaster. Who needs some levels? We'll go Ansem. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. Crunch you, and Toxic that Houndoom. So, like, it would have to be like a roller coaster or something along those lines. Now, if you were leaving it up to me and what I would do with Villains Land, is I would have it absorb everything that the Cars Land is going to take over, and I would turn this into, like, the perfect, like, twisted gothic part of the theme park. There'd be rides, there'd be shows, there'd be so much crap going on. Like, I would even try to bring back the, what's it called? The Cinderella Castle Mystery Tour from, Tokyo Disneyland. Where instead of exploring fun parts, you'll explore the devilish secret labs and lairs of all the villains. That would be cool. Hell, even give an homage to the Black Cauldron, even though it doesn't really deserve it. Alright. There we go, finally, alright. Alright, unfortunately, Toxic won't hit here. And also, unfortunately, is all my other moves really won't do anything to Houndoom here. Dragon Breath has to be the way to go. Alright, I do have a few more questions to answer, but I'm going to save that for the next part. Because obviously we're well over what I normally do for these, and well, yeah. We're not going past this. And Dakim looks like he's going to throw up. That's unhealthy. Alright, let's see. What do I get this time? Alright, I get $20,000 and TM48. I believe that's skill swap. Alright. Next time on Pokemon Jesus, leave me alone. I'm getting information about Deep King, but slowly. He does sound like an expert trainer, though. I wonder... God, these are such useless... These are literally the spam mails that everybody gets in email form. Whatever. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm your friendly neighborhood N-Man64. Join me next time when we take on the next two segments here at the Deep Colosseum. Until we meet again, my lovelies, sayonara.